She loved red lipstick and high heels, the version of herself that felt beautiful and powerful. And she stopped wearing them because she was afraid of confirming a stereotype. That wasn't her real problem. Her real problem was about to cost her a promotion. And here's the confusion I want to clear up today because I see it wreck careers constantly. Choosing to adapt how you show up is a skill, but running from who you are is a wound. They can look exactly the same from the outside, but they are not the same thing. Hi, I'm Kim Welcome, and yes, Welcome is my real last name, and this is Leadership Communication for Women, where we look at where your labels actually come from and what they're costing you. If you haven't seen the earlier videos of this series, the link is below, but you don't need them to get everything from this one. Here's what I want to name first, because this is where most women get stuck. When you internalize someone else's stereotype about you, especially one that is rooted in your identity, your background, your culture, you think you have two choices: become the stereotype or run from it. And most women run. They spend enormous energy editing themselves, softening themselves, becoming less of who they actually are. So the label doesn't stick. But here's the problem with that strategy: you're still letting the stereotype decide who you show up as. And you've just flipped the direction. Instead of owning the label, you're denying it. Either way, the stereotype is still driving. Now, here's where it gets interesting because there's a version of changing how you show up that has nothing to do with running. I work with brilliant professional women, often women from the Bahamas. They are Bahamian and they can speak in a way that's colloquial, warm, completely themselves with their sisters over dinner. And I need to know, can you also express yourself in full standard English in your own beautiful Bahamian accent when the room calls for it? If the answer is no, that's not an identity, that's a gap. And gaps are fixable. But notice, being able to code the room with your sisters and command a boardroom in standard English isn't betrayal of either version. It's called range. Neither is fake, both are her. That's broad appeal. It's a deliberate choice about register made on purpose by a woman who already knows exactly who she is underneath it. Suppression is different. Suppression is deciding a part of you is not allowed in the room at all, not adapting it, erasing it because you're afraid of what it will cost you if someone sees it. Same surface behavior, opposite engine underneath. One expands your reach, the other shrinks your presence to fit someone else's comfort. I coached a young Latina lady who loved red lipstick and high heels, the full expression of how she felt most beautiful and powerful. But she internalized a narrative that red lipstick confirmed a stereotype. High heels confirmed a stereotype. So she dimmed it, blended in, told herself it was safer. And there was a second layer to this. Her clients called her a bulldog, ferocious about protecting them, relentless about top level service. They loved her for it. The commendations proved it, but she couldn't hear the compliment underneath the word. All she heard was a label she didn't choose, and her instinct was to run from it. We didn't argue about whether the labels were fair. That wasn't the point. We got clear on one thing. Who did she actually want to be? Not who should she be, not who could she be without offending anyone. Who did she actually want to be? Once that was clear, the lipstick came back on, the fierceness stayed, and she stopped apologizing for her own presence. She applied for a promotion that skipped 2 levels, almost unheard of in an organization that size. And she got it. Not because she became someone else, because she finally stopped trying to. The closing truth. She stopped apologizing for who she was, and she decided to show up as who she was. This is what almost 20 years of watching women move through professional spaces has taught me. The best version of you that gets heard, that gets promoted, that builds real influence is seldom the edited version. It's hardly ever the version built to run from someone else's judgment. But it's also not the version that refuses to adapt at all and calls that authenticity. Real range, knowing which register to use when, is not a betrayal of your identity. It's evidence you're secure enough in it to be flexible. The question was never, do I stay exactly the same in every room or do I change? The question is the change coming from fear or choice? Suppression asks the room for permission. Rage doesn't need to, it just decides. The room was never the problem, not knowing the difference was. If you've been dimming parts of yourself to avoid being labeled, if you are not sure whether you're adapting is a skill or a wound, that's exactly what the Close the Gap assessment is here to show you. The link is below. Go ahead and take it. I'm Kim Welcome. Remember, communication is the skill, identity is the power. See you next week.